Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of the world's most famous personal finance and self-development books written by Robert T. Kiyosaki. The book is not just about money, it is mainly about changing the way people think about money, jobs, education, success, and financial freedom. Through simple stories, real-life examples, and powerful lessons, the author explains why some people become financially successful while others continue struggling even after working hard their entire lives. The story revolves around two father figures in Robert's life. One is his real father, whom he calls Poor Dad, and the other is the father of his best friend Mike, whom he calls Rich Dad. Both men were intelligent, hardworking, and influential in Robert's life, but their thinking about money was completely different. These differences became the foundation of the entire book. Poor Dad was highly educated. He believed in traditional education, academic success, and job security. He always encouraged Robert to study hard, get good grades, attend a good college, and find a stable, high-paying job. According to him, the safest path in life was to become well-educated and work for a respected company or the government. He believed that financial stability comes from a regular salary and hard work. Even though he worked sincerely and achieved a respected position in society, he constantly faced financial struggles. He often worried about bills, loans, taxes, and job security. Rich Dad, on the other hand, had a very different mindset. He was not highly educated in the traditional sense, but he understood business, investing, and financial management deeply. He believed that schools teach people how to become employees, but not how to become financially free. According to Rich Dad, people spend years studying subjects like mathematics, science, and history, but never learn about money, investing, taxes, assets, liabilities, or financial planning. He believed that financial education is one of the most important skills in life. The story begins when young Robert and Mike become curious about how to become rich. They see that some people work very hard but still struggle financially, while others seem to earn money easily. Wanting answers, they approach Rich Dad and ask him to teach them the secret of becoming rich. Instead of giving direct lectures, Rich Dad teaches them through practical experiences and life lessons. One of the first lessons begins when Rich Dad gives the boys a small job in one of his stores. They work hard for very little money. After some time, Robert becomes frustrated and angry because he feels he is being underpaid. At this moment, Rich Dad teaches one of the book's most powerful lessons. The rich don't work for money. Rich Dad explains that most people are controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Fear makes people work hard because they are afraid of not having money, losing their jobs, or becoming poor. Greed makes people spend more as soon as they earn more. When people get salary increases, they often buy bigger houses, expensive cars, luxury items, and take more loans. This creates a cycle where they become dependent on their salary forever. Rich Dad calls this cycle the rat race. The rat race is one of the most important concepts in the book. It describes the lifestyle where people wake up every day, go to work, earn money, pay bills, repay loans, and then repeat the same routine for the rest of their lives. Many people believe they are becoming successful because their salary increases, but in reality, their expenses increase at the same rate or even faster. As a result, they remain trapped financially. Rich Dad explains that rich people escape the rat race by building assets. He introduces the famous difference between assets and liabilities. According to him, an asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, while a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Rich people spend their money buying assets such as businesses, stocks, rental properties, investments, intellectual property, or anything that generates income regularly. Poor and middle-class people often spend their income on liabilities like expensive cars, large houses with heavy loans, luxury gadgets, and unnecessary expenses. Even though these things may appear valuable, they continuously take money away through maintenance, taxes, loan payments, or depreciation. Rich Dad believes that the key to financial freedom is simple: buy assets first and reduce liabilities. Once assets start generating enough passive income, a person no longer needs to depend completely on a salary. Another major lesson in the book is the importance of financial intelligence. Rich Dad explains that financial intelligence includes understanding accounting, investing, markets, business systems, taxes, and money management. According to him, many people work hard physically or mentally, but never learn how money actually works. Because of this lack of financial knowledge, even educated people can remain financially weak. The book also explains the difference between working for money and making money work for you. Most employees exchange time for money. They work a fixed number of hours and receive salary in return. Rich Dad teaches that wealthy people build systems that continue generating income even when they are not actively working. Businesses, investments, and assets create passive income, allowing money to work on behalf of the owner. Rich Dad strongly encourages entrepreneurship and investing. He teaches Robert and Mike that business owners and investors often become wealthier because they focus on ownership rather than employment. Instead of only earning salary, they create income-producing systems. He also explains that businesses provide tax advantages because companies can legally reduce taxable income through business expenses and investments. Fear is another important topic discussed throughout the book. Rich Dad believes that fear of failure prevents most people from becoming successful. Many people avoid investing, starting businesses, or taking opportunities because they are afraid of losing money or making mistakes. Rich Dad teaches that failure is a part of learning. According to him, successful people are not those who never fail, but those who learn from failures and continue moving forward. The book also talks about the power of mindset. Poor Dad often used phrases like, "I can't afford it," or "that's too risky." Rich Dad discouraged such thinking. Instead, he encouraged questions like, "How can I afford it?" or "How can I make this possible?" He believed that asking better questions forces the brain to search for solutions and opportunities. Rich Dad also explains that many people become financially weak because of lifestyle inflation. As income increases, people increase spending instead of increasing investments. They buy bigger homes, expensive clothes, luxury cars, and unnecessary items to impress others. This creates financial pressure and dependency on salary. Rich Dad believes true wealth is not about showing off expensive things, but about having assets that generate continuous income. The author repeatedly emphasizes that money itself is not evil. According to Rich Dad, lack of financial education is the real problem. People who do not understand money often fear it, misuse it, or become controlled by it. Financial education gives people confidence to make smart decisions and take calculated risks. The book also highlights the importance of taking action. Many people spend years planning, dreaming, or waiting for the perfect opportunity, but never start. Rich Dad teaches that success comes from learning, experimenting, failing, improving, and continuing to take action. Small, practical experience is often more valuable than endless theoretical knowledge. Another important message in the book is that job security alone cannot guarantee financial freedom. Economic conditions, inflation, technological changes, and market shifts can affect jobs at any time. Rich Dad believes that depending entirely on one source of income is risky. Therefore, people should create multiple sources of income through investments, businesses, side ventures, or assets. The author also discusses how emotions affect financial decisions. Fear, greed, laziness, arrogance, and bad habits often stop people from becoming financially successful. Rich Dad teaches that emotional control and disciplined thinking are essential for wealth creation. Wealthy people focus on long-term financial growth instead of short-term pleasures. Throughout the book, Rich Dad continues mentoring Robert and Mike with lessons about leadership, sales, communication, investing, and decision-making. He explains that communication and sales skills are extremely important because every business and profession involves convincing, negotiating, and influencing people. The central goal of Rich Dad's teachings is financial freedom. Financial freedom means reaching a stage where passive income from assets becomes greater than living expenses. At this point, a person no longer needs to work only for survival. They can choose work they enjoy, spend more time with family, travel, or pursue personal dreams without constant financial stress. Rich Dad, Poor Dad became extremely popular because it challenged traditional beliefs about money and success. Many readers found the ideas eye-opening because the book explains financial concepts in simple language through relatable stories and examples. Instead of focusing only on earning more money, the book focuses on changing financial habits, developing the right mindset, and building long-term wealth. Although some critics say the book oversimplifies financial success or lacks detailed investment strategies, millions of people still consider it life-changing because it encourages readers to think differently about money. It motivates people to take responsibility for their financial future instead of depending only on jobs, salaries, or formal education. The overall message of Rich Dad Poor Dad is clear. True wealth is created not by working harder for money, but by becoming financially intelligent, building assets, making smart investments, controlling expenses, and learning how to make money work for you. The book teaches that financial freedom is possible for anyone willing to learn, think differently, and take action consistently.